agents who naturally had more of everything than us. Because we could not do those things. So they were superhuman. And they were gods. And therefore they were God. Then there was the Godhead. And very interesting. First, the phenomena were attributed to gods, as in India. You know, individual gods doing individual things, as in Greek mythology. When the state started getting formed, the first notions of the state, that is, not just individual tribes, but one tribe is to be dominant. Otherwise there will be chaos and inner fighting and order and disorder and murder and mayhem. So when that happened, that is the origin of monotheism. Why is God so jealous in the Old Testament and in the Quran? That, wait, you want to believe anybody? That can be one proposition. He said, no, you can only believe me. Every other sin is pardonable except if you revere somebody and put him next to me. Why? Because that was the state speaking. The nascent state. The state of the dominant tribe, which was the first form of the state. Here the Marxists are right. That was the explanation. In the state, you can do anything. There is the remedy. Murder, 7 years. Death. Robbery, there is the remedy. But loyalty to Pakistan, no remedy. So was monotheism not just an origin of the first, an ingredient which was necessary just for the formation of and consolidation of the state? Rather than that somebody saw that, no, these are not 32,000 crore gods, there is just one of them. Did he see that, or this was the inner invention in this sense? And not a fabrication. It was an actual felt experience and felt need of that particular time. And you say science keeps changing? My friend, the concept of God keeps changing all the time. He's tolerant, he's intolerant today because we live close together, he has to be tolerant. So we are taking up too much time. Thank you.
There are quite a few more questions if you don't mind.
I don't mind, but you would mind.
Would you like to sit down?
No, I am fine, sir. आप थक जाओगे, हम तो unemployed आदमी हैं.
Yeah, make it quick, please. There are several people.
We'll have 3 more questions and then we'll finish.
No, we'll take some more.
Achha, let's assume that.
So, would you consider a non-believer in God as an arrogant person? And I have one little personal question. We have a lot of admirers, like who admire you. So, how was your reaction when you learned that you have such a special child born, and who is mentally retarded at the same time, as you mentioned in the book, that who is sharp, who is equally in some aspects skilled as well. I mean, he's sharp with his mind, and he has very good hearing skills. So, how is your reaction to all this?
First of all, the question of arrogance. Actually, most believers are very arrogant. You look at those who occupy positions in the church.
Yes.
Very
arrogant.
They are damn arrogant.
No, look at the God men.
Yeah.
So many gurus.
Clergy.
So many clergy. So many Maulanas. Very arrogant. So, there can be persons who are humble, irrespective of belief or non-belief. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, personification of humility. But others may or may not be. Many of the people we see around today may have taken the name of God, not very. And in any case, a person of the church or any clergy or anybody who claims exclusivity, that I alone have the truth. When he says, this is the form of God, this is the only form of God, and I know it, and you don't know it, and you better follow it. that humility. As for our reactions to the child, we were naturally shocked out of our lives. We were told on the third day that in an incubator some difficulty, he was a premature child, and something had happened and there was a breakdown in the supply of oxygen and his brain had been injured. So naturally our world had collapsed. But immediately his needs overtook us, and then there was no question of reaction or action. We only have to do the things that were required at that time.
I have one question. Were you always a non-believer? Or did you turn, or were you a very religious person in the beginning and turned into a non-believer later?
No, actually, I am from the Punjab, and I mean, all Indians in a sense are believers. All Indians. But in Punjab there was one other influence, I think. For instance, my mother's side were what we call Sanatan Dharmis, believers in a God with form. But in my father's side, because of Punjab, the great influence of Swami Dayanand Saraswati in Arya Samaj, that had much more influence in Punjab than in Gujarat. So, from where he came. So, there was this Arya Samaj probably influence in our growing up also, and that may have made me skeptical. But I don't remember thinking about these matters that time, and it is Adit, our son, who made me go through these scriptures again and again, his condition. And then, and you know, putting it as belief and non-belief is putting it too high. My argument is pegged at a very low level of the scriptures and these, what the saints said. Only at that. That does not give either solace or stand up to examination. That's the only argument. I am nobody to comment that God hai or nahi hai.
I wanted to come back to the title.
The concept, the only point is that the God as conceived is certainly not borne out by the facts of the world. That are, whether there is or not, and what that concept is, we have not been told.
I wanted to come back to the title of the book. I speak as a doctor and also as a mother and as a, unknown believer, non-believer, open to all thoughts. When a pain happens in our life, before that, everything is nice and we are very close to each other, the couple or the family. And when this problem occurs, which can be, a problem child or some divorce or anything in the family, then the reaction of the women and the gender is very much different from the reaction of the men. That's what I have noted with my patients of my life or other people or books. The way a woman, you ask a woman, what do you think about your child? She'll say, he's mine, I own it. And that may be a normal child, not normal child, but the first reaction is he's mine. Whereas for some, especially for men, you start searching the answers. Why did it happen to me? And I think a lot of this is conditioned, because I asked a Chinese person who's had no concept of God, none of this hodgepodge things, that this is a sin or prana karam or anything. And I asked her, when you're in trouble, don't you say, oh my God? She said, what's that? She said, what's that? We never say, oh my God. You never say, God, please help me. No, you never say that. Then what do you say? Nothing. We just say there's a pain and we have to deal with it. And it will occur, pain will occur, good will occur, and we deal with it. We have parties, yes, we enjoy it, we have pain, we go through it. And we have parents' death, we go through it, we have a child's problem, we go through it. So, a lot of things, the questions that we are asking is because we are putting ourselves in the middle. Why did it happen to me? What wrong did I do? Was it my previous, karma? Whereas a mother's heart will not start with those questions. The mother's heart, it will be, he is mine. Now what do I do next? How do I become the best mother of a handicapped child? How do I become the best? What's there? What do I need to do? So, the response, the whole response, I think, is also gender and environmental bias.
I think that's a very telling and perceptive comment. And I have always felt, I would slightly distinguish that not all men may react that way, because many men may be sensitive enough to also immediately attend only to the child's needs. But in their spare time, they may also read scriptures. And conclude that they don't answer to. But on 2 points, I think your question is very telling. One is, I have certainly found in my limited life, and I have had, our family consists of very strong men, my father, my grandfathers, these were very, very strong people. But I always felt that our women in India are much stronger than our men, and maybe all over, but I don't know other women. But my mother, these were really, you could not shake them. In my own case, my wife is a much stronger person than I am. On that I agree. Second, I think there's another point to be added to what you were saying. That maybe because of this dissonance in reactions, many difficulties of children sometimes bring people together, and sometimes it leads to the divorce. And when it leads to a divorce, I have noticed that it is always that the man could not deal with the situation. The husband could not, and therefore he, in a sense, abandoned the family, and then the person had to. In our case, we have been very fortunate, and this must have been because of the fact that we came back to India from Washington, where a child had been born. We lived with my parents. My mother-in-law gave up her own life and came and lived with us for 25 years, and she was the life of our child. So this net of love and security must have helped sustain us. But the other point was that because of the strength and the stability of my wife, this has bonded us even closer and made it a completely steady relationship. So probably there are more things to be learned, and these are described in that. And it may be that the man thinks, why did this happen to me, and the lady doesn't think that. But I would think that everybody thinks, kyun hua? Hame kyun hua? Is bechare bacche ko kyun hua? So that may not be probably as marked a difference as that strength is a completely.
Sir,
but I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Pardon me, sir, if the question that I pose brings the discussion down from metaphysical to a real-life question that all people who have situations like this face. How do you view the right from the wrong? Is there a right, is there a wrong in positions that people take when they are placed in a situation like this? What I mean is, there are people who would think that it is their divine duty to take care of the child that is disabled. Why any disability could even be a person in old age. And there are people who would think that pursuit of happiness is a God-given right and a virtue, and therefore they would believe that it is not obligatory for them to be actually taking care of the person who needs the care. And instead they choose to put that person in the care of an expert home or an expert service provider to take care of the child. How would you deal with the situation, and what is your view about what is right and what is wrong, if there is a concept of a right and wrong?
Certainly, sir, I certainly believe that there are absolute rights and absolute wrongs. And I would think that the first point, first attitude is absolutely right, and the second attitude is absolutely wrong. Not because I have been given a divine right to enjoy my life, but because really serving those who are not able to look after themselves is a part of being human itself. And this business of consigning children or disabled persons or the elderly to homes, I think this expert business is just not right. One of the strengths of our society has been the strength of our family, and no amount of expertise can substitute for a mother's love. or a son and daughter's love for her parents when they need of their help. And I was very fortunate that even though we had, it could be possible for us to live elsewhere or in another house. For instance, when I was in government, we never moved out of our parents' house. So that when they needed us, when my father was 93, my mother was 87, they needed us. How idiotic, how terribly selfish it would have been if we had moved out of the house and lived elsewhere, because that is a 4-acre plot, a government house. So I think the institutional care is necessary, provided at our own home, unless there is such an unless the cramping is such, the shortage of space is such that you just can't take care of a person who's unwell. I think that we should not abdicate to others and abdicate especially to the state what our families can do and can have always done. Yes, I believe in absolute rights and absolute wrongs.
There's one question. And then we'll end with 2. Make it quick, young man. Make it quick. He's already started.
Good evening, sir. My name is Shourie. Actually, the reason why I wanted to come to your book launch is that, see, we both share the same name. And see, you're a journalist and you're a writer, and I too write stories and I want to become an author.
How wonderful.
And like you were an editor in Times of India, and I'm a correspondent in Times of India. I'm an NI reporter from my school, so I keep writing articles. So the question I want to ask you is that, see, you're a journalist and an author, so what triggered you to come inside politics?
Actually, that's a very important question, incisive question by a correspondent. I wish you the very best, and you will do even better when you become a good correspondent for the Indian Express rather than Times of India. I sincerely wish you the very best, and with such articulation, I'm sure you will go very, very far. But on the question of joining politics, as on marrying my wife, as being born to a wonderful set of parents, as having this blessing of a loving child, these were accidents. Politics, I was an unemployed man, as I have been most of the time, writing books which at that time nobody would read. So there was a phone call. So I picked up the phone. कि भैया मैं ठाकरे बोल रहा हूँ, तुम अरुण शौरी पूरा, मैं कहती मैं अरुण शौरी बोल रहा हूँ, मैं ठाकरे बोल रहा हूँ। मैं कहता हुक्म सर। अरे भैया मैं ठाकरे बोल रहा हूँ। ऐसे सर हुक्म, ठाकरे जी हुक्म। ये भैया मैं बाला साहब ठाकरे बीजेपी पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट बोल रहा हूँ। कुशाभाऊ ठाकरे बीजेपी का प्रेसिडेंट बोल रहा हूँ। मैं कहा सर, मैं बताइए सर, मेरी गलती होगी, माफ कीजिए, मैं पहचाना नहीं। इसे भैया आप पार्टी ऑफिस आ सकते हो? मैं कहती मैं आ जाता हूँ। पार्टी ऑफिस कहाँ है? तो पार्टी ऑफिस 10 अशोका रोड। सो आई वेंट टू 10 अशोका रोड। इसे कहते भैया ये 3 बड़े लोगों की मीटिंग हुई है, अटल जी, अडवाणी जी और मुरली मनोहर की। वो कहते हैं कि तुम्हें राज्यसभा की वो टिकट दे देंगे, तो क्या तुम पार्टी ज्वाइन कर लोगे? तो कर लेंगे। So that was my induction into politics. So it is completely by accident. As was our marriage.
Has there been an exit?
So, yes, actually, the question is whether there has been an exit. I think so. I think I'm completely out of place with the kind of things that are going on today. So I have, since Atalji is withdrawing, I have felt that there was nothing for me to do. Actually, a phrase has been used, if I may repeat it here, that some of us were, one of these so-called leaders has said, these were Atal Bihari Vajpayee's imports, they have gone with me. He thinks it is a very witty remark. I think it is a badge of honor for some of us.
Last question here.
In spite of being an agnostic for the last 63 years or so, I have a faith that no action of anybody on the earth goes totally waste. Every action has its consequences. I'll give an example. You sow a seed. It might sprout into a plant. It might not even sprout into a plant. It might become fertilizer or manure for other plants. That is how the collective action of people also have consequences. And that is why we should keep doing things which we think is right. And I don't want to explain, throughout my life, I have always benefited by taking action which I think is right.
That's a very good attitude to have. And that will be true faith. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. A million thanks to you, sir, for your second visit to Manthan, and we do hope this is not going to be the last one. We do hope you will come. The Hyderabad intelligent people will always be waiting to hear from you. May I ask Dr. Bhargav to present a small memento to, actually it's a painting that Kali Sudhir has brought to be offered to Mr. Shourie. Dr. Bhargav. Dr. Bhargav was the one who gave a talk at Manthan on God is man's creation. Thank you very much, all of you. Those who would like to get their books autographed may do that. Those who would like to buy them can come and get the books autographed. Mr. Shourie is here for a short while.